So when I was growing up on a farm in Alberta, I knew about Tanglewood.
When I came here the first time, I just overwhelmed by it the first time I set foot on the grounds, and that feeling has never wavered.
There's somebody here practicing piano. There's somebody over there warming up on trumpet. It's a definite musical utopian environment out here.
This is actually my first Tanglewood season in the role of assistant conductor.
It is a pleasure to be part of it. You know, I hopefully never take that for granted, that I get to play with so many talented people. What a thrill.
It's just a fun job. It's fun to be around the people, especially with our new conductor. That's really fun.
What makes the Boston Symphony absolutely unique in the world of orchestras is Tanglewood.
People ask me what is so great about the cello, and it's very simple for me. The cello is the greatest instrument in the world. That's all I got to say about it. My cello is an old cello. It's a lovely cello. I'm very, 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 very lucky to be able to play on it. It's obviously made out of wood. The front is made from a beautiful piece of spruce, and the back and sides are made out of maple. And this cello has a lovely wide flame maple back, hand selected by the maker of this cello. The choice of wood, the arching of the wood, where the F-holes are placed, what kind of varnish you place over the wood once it's finished. It's all done by a master craftsman. To be able to make something that is essentially a box, produce beautiful sound. The way this box works is, obviously I have this bow, which is also another special piece of Pernambuco wood. Obviously this is what starts the string to vibrate. The horsehair here, place it on the string. The string vibrates, the bridge vibrates, the top of the cello vibrates, and the little post called the sound post is also set in vibration. That activates the back, and the sound literally bounces off the hardwood of the back, maple hardwood, and out these F-holes, and you get a sound. The string is strung from this tailpiece up and around these pegs, and these pegs will loosen or tighten the string and also tune it. I haven't played all day today, so it's a little bit rough. We're outside. The orchestra is challenged to use the acoustic of this space, this open space. If you look, you can see these triangular panels, and the sound bounces off wonderfully. I don't know exactly how it works, but it works well. acoustic in the shed actually is pretty good for something that's open. When you play, you can feel it. It's great. You feel the vibrations on your legs and your chest. Almost the cello becomes part of you. You're vibrating as well. It might start the floor to vibrate. The floor is made out of wood. It's going to vibrate. The stage, it being of a hard wood, is also a great part of how this orchestra will sound, because the sound is bouncing off the stage is moving, everything is moving. I would often imagine these trees at Tanglewood, these tangled woods, vibrating too. And they've heard a lot of music over the last, almost 80 years, that they are vibrating as well, or know what it feels like to vibrate every summer. Maybe it helps them to grow, I don't know.
To keep up with my colleagues in the BSO, I really feel like if I'm not putting in 2 to 3 hours a day minimum outside of rehearsal, that I'm coming to work unprepared. So this is a slightly different trumpet than you would normally see us with. This is called a German trumpet, or a rotary trumpet, that we use for all Baroque, classical, even some early Romantic repertoire. And it just gives us a little bit rounder, darker of a sound, not quite as brilliant, not quite as piercing through the orchestra. Just to produce a sound on a trumpet, like any brass instrument, you have to breathe in and exhale out while creating a buzz. So, and the mouthpiece is one amplifier. So if you just with your lips, like, it's not a very pleasing sound. So we take the mouthpiece, and that creates one amplifier and focuses the buzz a little bit, and then you put it in the instrument, and obviously makes it much more pleasing and is a much bigger amplifier. So as you can see, the valve casing is actually on the outside of the instrument. It becomes kind of an exoskeleton of what you would expect to see on a normal trumpet that we would play, which is up and down, kind of looks like that, but all of the casings are enclosed and they work as pistons. And as we press the valves down in the right combination, you're adding in all of this tubing. So when you press the second valve down, you add that length of tubing to an open horn, which moves it down a half step. When you press the first valve down, you add that length of tubing plus a little bit more to lower it a whole step. When you press the third valve down, you add those two together to get that, and that moves you down a minor third. And then once you get to the bottom of the series, chromatically, you add all three, and that gives you the lowest note that you can play in that valve series. That's, in a nutshell, how it works.
Gunther Schuller's Magical Trumpets. It's a piece that he wrote for the Tanglewood Music Center's 75th anniversary. It was one of Gunther's last pieces that he wrote, and it was very special to play that.
On Schuller's new piece, I was playing B-flat piccolo, and Tom Rolfe's was as well, and our parts were crazy high, crazy high.
Like Gunther's music, you first see it and you say, oh boy. A lot of notes, a lot of very difficult passages, a lot of just crunchy looking and sounding things, and you're like, okay, what is going on here? Get a couple rehearsals under your belt, you work on it, you rehearse it, it starts making sense, and it starts making a lot of sense. It's brilliant. It required each of us to play to the edge of our technique. Like really, you were doing all that you could to play this piece. So you were working, you know, you were just on the edge of your seat the whole time. Sitting next to Mike, he was playing piccolo trumpet, and I was playing a C trumpet part, and it's another facet of Mike's playing that I love because he makes the piccolo trumpet sound so effortless, and which is something I can't do, you know, and I love that. I love listening to it, I love hearing it, because he just does it. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, it's really high, whatever, yeah, he just does it. It's awesome, you know, because boy, do I have to work at that. And I thought everyone just sounded great. I thought it was a really good performance.
Keep that head still, okay? All right. Hey, not bad. The goal of having my daughters on the golf course is for them to have fun.
I was doing it very, very soft that time.
Okay. That's my only goal. So whatever that means to them, that's what I do.
Ready?
Go. Usually what it means is racing around in the golf cart. Slow down. Slow down. On the other hand, they are showing interest in actually playing the game. Maddie can actually hit the ball. Oh, look at that shot. All right. Kathy had 5 concerts that week, which is insane. So she was doing that, and I was on kid duty that whole week. Every once in a while, they're all on me, and it's nice to have that time with them. Not too fast.
So right now we are in the back of the shed. This is one of the largest men's locker room in the back of the shed. Years ago, this whole section of the shed didn't exist, and you only had the stage and a little bit behind there, so people had to change in the hallway. And that was long enough ago when the orchestra was primarily male. But now they built this extension, and we have a locker room. My locker is number 103. I've had that same locker for 24 years since I've been coming to Tanglewood. And this is the place, obviously, where we keep our concert clothes. All white on Sunday, white pants, white shoes, white belt, white blazer. And on the night concerts, we wear black pants. And these big trunks here are usually not here, but we are getting ready to go on our first European tour with Andris, our new conductor, and we're all very excited about that. We're going to Europe, pretty much the major cities in Europe, leaving in a week and a half. So they put these out, and we will have to have those packed and ready to go after our last concert this coming weekend. So that's why these big black trunks are here. And these are cello trunks. These are for the cello section. And then these here are for various brass instruments, trumpets, trombones, horns, and big truck comes and takes them all away.
Tanglewood's not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be, you're in the sun and it's, beautiful here. But they just every once in a while, these weeks come across where it's just all these super heavy pieces. And this one for timpani, it's, Beethoven 9. Barber, second essay. Mahler 6. Heldenleben. And then on top of that, there's this prelude concert that I'm doing with the chorus, which is just timpani and chorus. Sometimes I can just go in and, you know, be very comfortable reading it and be fine. You learn it in the rehearsal, but this one I've been practicing all week. And it's the last week too, and so we're packing for, you know, Europe on top of that, and getting all that together. So it's just this frantic week. So anyway.
So the Mahler last night was a bit of a challenge. It's a long piece. All of us are a bit exhausted because of all of the preparation for the tour we've been doing, and just because it's been a very jam-packed summer full of activities. It was hot, it was humid, there were a lot of little things that were going wrong. You know, Andris broke his baton and half of it ended up on the floor. It was one of those concerts where you really had to put full force into it to get through and to keep the music going and to keep the experience. Last night was hard work. You get those every once in a while, and that's okay because everybody hung in there and there were still smiles on everybody's faces at the end. And, you know, kudos to Andris for keeping it upbeat and keeping everybody focused and in good spirits despite the conditions. The best way to explain what it's like to work with Andris is just to look at him. He's generous, he's kind, he's outgoing. He loves what he's doing, and we love what we're doing. And when you put that together, the combination is just amazing music making. We're all so excited for this relationship where we're all growing. You know, he's growing with us, we're growing with him, and the long term is just going to be such an amazing experience.
What this orchestra quickly found out about Andris is that he really is kind of this kid in a candy store kind of guy. He really loves what he's doing. This is a piece that anybody who's under 40 has grown up with, basically. And so you could tell he was thrilled to be up there doing it.
My wife and I had a baby in the end of April. Nora was born 11 weeks early. We were at Beth Israel Hospital in Boston for 94 days. And I was commuting back and forth from Tanglewood to there 2 or 3 times a week. My wife, Cassie, stayed in Boston. She was there every single day. She came home about 2 weeks ago. She's doing great. She was born 2 pounds 6 ounces. She could actually fit in my shirt, like a tiny cat, basically. Yeah, there it is. Now she's almost 9.5 pounds, so she's thriving, doing great, but it was definitely a bit of an added element of stress this summer. We're actually bringing Nora today to rehearsal at the Shed for Beethoven 9. She's going to meet the orchestra, and it should be a lot of fun. It's pretty cool that her first concert, being at Tanglewood, is Beethoven 9. You know, it's a different kind of ode to joy to me now. far as Beethoven goes generally, there's not always a ton to do for the trumpets. We sort of match the timpani and echo what the timpani does. But in Beethoven 9, we basically never stop playing.
Beethoven 9. I know some people think that they're the most important person in the piece, and I just have to tell you that it's me. Because, right? Right.
Second bassoon.
Second bassoon.
Second bassoon.
Yeah, because if I don't play, it ain't gonna start, right? Third movement, slow movement. So I've been here 15 years, and I've done Beethoven 9 15 times at least. And this solo never ceases to make me quite nervous. I don't think this is a great read. It won't start.
Sounds like a Shostakovich read.
It does. That's a little better. It won't start until it hears this.
Anytime you start a piece, it's like
Right.
it's undue pressure.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Because if you mess up, then
Oh.
it's like the whole movement is ruined.
Thanks, Richard.
No, I didn't mean that.
It's like tripping before you even get started.
The world is on your shoulders.
Beethoven 9 is kind of a staple for timpani. It's one of the, you won't go to an audition and not play Beethoven 9. It's on every single audition. You have to really have all your ducks in a row to play that one right, I think. So. We do it every year, which is, a treat. So I love it. With a different conductor every year, too. So that's great. You get a different take.
The symphony is so massive and epic in its scale, and it's so kind of frenetic and schizophrenic at times.
So Beethoven gave that to the cello. We introduced that very famous simple tune. A lot of the melodies written for the cello are the long, glorious melodies. Beethoven, Brahms, all these wonderful composers give the big tunes to the cello often. They know that it has this range and this deepness. For the kids, it's a wonderful summer place to go for them. They know what Tanglewood is now. They love it. They start talking about Tanglewood in the wintertime. What are we going to do this summer? Where are we going to go to camp? And so that's a wonderful thing.
All right, we're going. We're going home. We have to be in Tanglewood for 8 weeks. So we have to bring warm weather, cold weather, wet weather, really warm weather, and then concert clothes. We have to bring everything. Oh, and then the kids, all their stuff. I am really sad that the summer's over. That means it's only going to start getting colder. School's starting. I have to leave my wonderful home in Tanglewood and start a new chapter.
You want to help me, Ems? The summer was great. It went by way too fast.
Where do you want these?
Wherever they fit. No, this is not the trash. This is all your shoes.
Hey, take the trash while you're at it.
It's just so lovely to be out here and be in this environment. I think it's more work because of the many different concerts we play each week, but for some reason it just feels more fun.
All right.
Bye. See you later.
Hi, Tanglewood. We'll be back next year.
It's just lovely. I love it. I love the whole idea of being here, and I love the fact that this is what I get to do during my summers.
Funding for new Tanglewood Tales, Life on Stage and Off, was provided in part by Cynthia and Ollie Kerm. To learn more about Tanglewood, the summer home of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, please visit www.tanglewood.org.